This is a show for grown-ups.
And they say bad words.
And they say bad words.
Say final warning.
Final warning.
Hello and welcome to the Pot of Blunders. I'm your host, Nate Magnet. You are the armpit of this podcast.
2022 is going to be my year.
R.I.P. Richard Sullivan, 1985 to 2022. In memoriam.
No, to 2021, 11:59.
Yeah. He died like he lived. So I am your host, Nate Magnuski, and with me, as always, is
Richard Sullivan. And I'll always be there. Always.
Thanks, man. I needed that. So, Richard, you know how Santa Claus always gets... Hold on, we gotta get some Foley work. Like, you walk out the stairs, like... Is that his car starting? We'll just cut that section out of the Simpsons episode with Leonard Nimoy. He fled the studio and drove away.
Oh, no, I was thinking the one with the evil Krusty Clown. Don't worry, boy. I forgot to buy you a present.
So you know how Santa Claus gets letters every year, Richard?
Yeah.
Well, we do too. You know, Santa Claus doesn't answer any of those letters until one day a year?
Yeah.
We do too. So this is our end of the year mailbag episode. A lot of our listeners wrote us things per our request, thankfully, and some of them on their own accord, which is kind of cool. And I have many of them now. Not all of them, because some of them are fucking weird. And like, that's us saying that. That's a special kind of fucking weird. And I have a number of them here. If you hear your question read aloud, that means one thing and one thing only.
We love you more.
Maybe even the most. So what do you say we get started on these questions, Richard? Are you excited for this shit?
I've literally been waiting all year.
Yeah, that was good. That sucked. Do that again.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, I love that heat, that energy, the verve. Hey, Richard, first question. What polyhedral dice would you rather eat? You gotta come with the hard balls first, you know?
I mean... What has the most sides? D20 the biggest? Or is there like a D hundo?
There's a D hundo, but they're usually like bigger than a golf ball. So I had that thought too. But...
because it'd be more, wouldn't it?
Oh, you're trying to like set an appetite with this. I'm trying to figure out like what would pass the easiest. Like D4 is right out. And D8 is almost as bad. It's like D4 is butt to butt.
Wouldn't then, by your logic, like a D1 be better because it's just like a piece of paper?
You'd be swallowing it infinitely. There'd be no sides to it. A D2, I guess. Like, it might be a coin, right?
Yeah, see, I went the opposite way. I was thinking, like, if this is all I can live on for the next week, I want the biggest thing possible.
I'm going to eat 1 to 23 today, 24 to 37 tomorrow.
Right, because I don't know when the next die is coming.
That's how life works, man. You just don't know when your die is up. I'm thinking, all right, there are some things, like, weird D3s and D4s and shit that are like barrel shaped. And if I'm going like least pain, most likely to not like rip apart my insides, I'm thinking one of those barrel shaped D4. But if I'm trying to survive, I think your D100 idea is pretty good.
Now, could we cut like a steak into like a dice shape?
I don't think that's really within the spirit of the question because they're like massive foam dice too, to your point, where you could just eat one of those for a week. You'd probably be dead at the end of it.
Well, recently I've been eating packing peanuts, and they dissolve real easy when they get wet. So
can we not continue with this at all until you explain to me why you're eating packing peanuts?
The edible kind.
That's not helping me.
So for Christmas, my wife got me a package, and it was packaged with foam peanuts. So... to prove a point and to really freak out my brother-in-law.
What the fuck, man?
do. As soon as you put them in your mouth, they like dissolve into nothing. It's a trip.
You're sure they're not just dissolvable, but they are in fact edible. Because you can dissolve a lot of shit you can't eat.
I got some if you want to try them.
I'm a pass on that. No. Okay, I guess we have to move back to your point. So, are you saying to me that if they were made of packing peanuts, edible packing peanuts, that you've now developed a taste for?
Right, but only if they're polyhedral.
So like a huge D20, you just take a chunk out of it and it would dissolve? Or like you'd soak it in like water and drink it and then it would count?
Like a hot dog eating contest?
Because it specifies eat. And those hot dog people, it's not right. That's cheating. Dunk the whole nasty bun in the water and just slurp it on down. No. You hear that? You hear that? Famous hot dog eater whose name I definitely know.
So I just Googled famous hot dog eater, and it's Joey Chestnut.
There's a picture of you. Oh my god. Get that Glurk Glurk 6000 going. Joey Chestnut. Wasn't there an Asian dude who like had arthritis of the jaw from eating too many hot dogs too quick and he had to retire?
Could have been.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Hey, Nate.
Yeah.
Which D&D class would be the best/worst job?
I mean, best I think is it's the bard, hands down. Because you don't have to do shit. You can just go and like hop from tavern to tavern. And if someone says, oh, I need someone to rescue my princess or whatever, or prince, you can just say, no, I'm going to play you a song about cool shit and seduce the barmaid.
Disagree.
Okay, so what do you think is the best?
Well, here's the problem. You got your entire life to write your first ballad.
Yep.
But you only have such a limited time to write your second ballad. And there's all this expectation going into it. What if you're not a very good bard?
Then you become a cover band bard and just play all the hits.
That's soul-sucking, man.
Does it get the gold in the pocket? It gets the air on the belly? Then it's a good gig, man. You know, sometimes you just gotta let the man tell you what they want to hear.
So what do you think the worst would be then?
Probably paladin. That's my guess. I think they just have no fun. At least every paladin I've ever played with has been just an ass about it. But they're not like the chill, like youth pastor kind of paladin where they just sit backwards in a chair and rap with you, try to bring you to a relationship with the Lord. They're like the ones that want to stab you. That's not cool. Not all of these questions are podcast or role-playing game related. Some of them are. Some of them are fucking weird and just off the wall or very straightforward and simple. For example, what's the best flavor of Starburst?
Pink.
Yeah, that's the kind of simple question I'm talking about. It's pink. It's obviously pink. Like whenever you go into a place where there's a public bowl of candy and you know there was mixed Starburst in there, the only shit that's left is yellow and orange. Pink and red are gone. Most of the orange are gone, and then it's this horrible yellow.
So, Nate, what's the dark side of podcasting that Big P just doesn't tell you about?
For a while, we were only able to record on Saturday nights. And so, even though it was the pandemic, we had shit all else to do. We literally felt like we couldn't do anything. I don't know if you did this too, but I felt like I couldn't do anything else but podcast on that one day. Mm-hmm. That's not specific to all podcasts, but for us, in the beginning anyway. Now I don't want to brag, but we're doing this shit on a Thursday.
Especially when we try to line 4 or 5 people up for something. It just nobody's fault. Just shit falls through a lot. So it's nice to have backup plans, as we often do. Or sometimes we just pull an episode out of our ass like a mailbag.
Shut up. They're on to us. I mean, for an example of that, the biggest example, obviously, is our Dnd Mini Series. We originally planned it as this long campaign. We started it back in, I think, September. All right. And now we're just trying to get the 3rd episode down. So the intro stuff, the first 2 episodes are in the can, and we still haven't met to record that 3rd one yet. There's only 4 of us, and one of them is me, one of them is you, one of them is my wife, and one of them is our patron and friend, Gary. And we still can't get us all together as often as I'd like. And again, it's no one's fault. We're all adults. We all got jobs. We all got responsibilities. I can't say kids. Gary's slacking on that, but
well, he's got nerd sperm.
It's true. He does. They're all got little glasses and beanies.
No,
I've seen them all.
Yeah, it's just a timing thing. I think, especially now where we're balancing our Patreon exclusive podcast.
Do you mean Jumping the Street Sharks?
The very same.
You there, boy. Is that podcast still on sale in that store window down in the market?
Why, it is, sir. For only $1 a month, you can gain exclusive access to 2 episodes of Jumping the Street Sharks a month.
That's fine, boy, but hurry up and go get it for me. And if you hurry back, there'll be a tuppence in it for you. Bah!
But, sir, what if I want to spend more money, it is?
I mean, you can also spend up to $5 or $10 a month, too, if you want. But, it's kind of weird to ask for that when I'm trying to pay you for a service you're giving me.
I think we reversed roles there, Governor.
Oh, well, maybe... Oh, wait, I'm in the snow now and you're in my balcony?
I'm a Scrooge now.
The spirits did it all in one night.
Yeah, I think it's a timing issue more than anything.
Yeah, mostly the timing.
Oh, this is a fun one. What's worst injury?
You got me beat, man. I didn't want to play this one. Your stupid foot. Mine's also a foot injury. But
what happened to your foot? Was this when you threw the knife on it?
Yeah. So, all right. You made it sound stupid, but not as stupid as it really is. So, yeah, when I was 12, I got a pocket knife, and I was very attached to my stupid little pocket knife. And I spent all day sharpening it. And being an only child in the country, I had to entertain myself. So this sounds horrible. It sounds like I was like skinning my neighbor's cats or some shit. But I wasn't, that they can prove. I was throwing the knife into the ground. Well, one time I didn't let go of it fast enough, and it stabbed me right in the fucking foot, went through my foot, hit the sandal, and bounced back out. And that was my worst injury. It really wasn't that bad, honestly.
So shit at throwing, great at sharpening.
That's the lesson I took away.
Yeah, for me, it was adventures in home brewing. I had just completed making a 5-gallon batch of beer, and I had a 5-gallon glass carboy. Basically, just imagine a Poland Spring jug, but glass, full of water. And as I'm dumping it out, things slid between my arms, and of course, I was wearing the proper footwear, rubber garden Crocs, and proceeded to shatter on my foot and sever my right tendon. So I was out of commission for about 12 weeks, 2 surgeries later. It was about half of this year, and I'm still not right from it.
Part of that might be that I dragged you to a football game about 2 months after your surgery and made you walk for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah, but it was worth it.
Yeah, we definitely... I don't even know if we won because I was too drunk.
It was preseason, so it doesn't matter. Hey, we got to see, on a Patriots tangent here, I've been to 2 football games in my life. Tom Brady's last game as a Patriot and Mac Jones' first game as a Patriot. And I feel honored and privileged.
I'm glad I could help you with that, bud. And I'm glad I made your foot fall off. You had to get surgery again afterwards. You're welcome. Hey, speaking of foot things, what's a fetish that doesn't give you a physical boner? Oh, but a brain boner. This is from Conan, so this is Conan's fault. I'm asking you about boners and fetishes. Thanks, Conan.
A brain boner. What?
I just hate the way you thoughtfully said brain boner. I mean, I hate it, but I'm going to make it my ringtone for whatever you call me.
Well, I'm trying to think what
Brain
that
boner.
is. Does that mean it's a fetish that I admire and I want to think about it, but I wouldn't want to do it? Or does it just mean like, I don't know
I
what
think
that
it means like what excites you intellectually.
Sexually?
No, intellectually. Just like, I don't know, what's an idea that gets you going? Or do you like people with glasses or something? We're going to answer this. I'm not sure what it means either. We could ask Conan. He's on the Discord right now. Want me to ask him for more details? I'm not even... This is definitely a Conan question. All right, let me ask him on the Discord. Conan, you asked us about what gave us a brain boner.
Elaborate.
We'll come back to that one in real time once he responds. But just know that there, over our heads is the ghost of a brain boner. Whatever that means to you.
Well, we're waiting on that. Nate, what's your comfort RPG?
I think it has to be the Quiet Year for me. Because for me, a comfort RPG is an RPG I don't have to put a lot of prep into. Because running the podcast, running games for our friends for years and years now, the prep is like the most stressful thing for me. I love the creativity of it, but making sure that I'm putting what I think are fun and creative things into the game itself is a task. It's a big task because it's manufacturing fun for your friends, and now an audience, so added pressure. With the Quiet Year, I only have a chunk of that, and it can't be prepared for. So it's very comforting to know like I'm free to go into this GM-less game where we're all going to collaborate. I know how it plays. I don't have to relearn the rules because I've played it dozens of times now. That's my absolute comfort RPG. The Quiet Year by Avery Adler. So, Richard, your brother asked this question, I think.
It seems like something between this and Thomas Jane. It seems like something he'd ask.
The Thomas Jane question that's coming up is something he asked. Did I not include that in the list, though? I might not have included that in the list. No, didn't. Anyway, your brother asked, what's a horror franchise that hasn't been turned into an RPG yet that you'd like to see?
Well, easy, The Mist, because it starred Tom Jane.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I... Now I'm trying to think if there's a game out there that would play The Mist well, including the ending, no spoilers.
Actually, why couldn't Quiet Year? You're a community that's locked up in the grocery store, and just assume that it's taken a whole year in there. They have enough food to make it last.
That's interesting, because I wonder if you could do something where, like, you're drawing the map, you're not really discovering new things. Like, oh, I discovered a new aisle. I discovered a back room.
No, but you could discover new recipes. You could discover...
It's like Stardew Valley, but with a horrific fucking, like, murderous interdimensional rift outside.
And you know what? Why couldn't you speed up Quiet Year to be like the Quiet Month? So instead of seasons, it's because your grocery store different shifts. That's
interesting. I kind of want to play with that. It's like instead of at the end of every month you do something special or season or whatever, it's every week. There's something there to play with the timing of it, but I kind of dig that idea. There's a game called 10 Candles I think would do it really well, where it's like you're going to die at the end. You record a message to yourself beforehand that's saying goodbye, like what you hope to accomplish and what you like your last message you record before the game starts. And then when your character dies, you play that message, and like as time goes on, you're playing in a dark room with 10 tea candles, and you're extinguishing the candles as people die or you have to sacrifice certain things. And so in the end, when you put the last light out, the world's over. All your characters are dead. That would probably play The Mist pretty well, because you know the doom is there.
True, but in the Mist, they don't know that they're all doomed.
Right, but as fans of The Mist, we have that meta-knowledge.
Yeah, but as fans of the film, we have the meta-knowledge that everything's fine in the end.
But as fans of Kirby, we have the Meta Knight on our Smash Brothers team.
King Dedede! I'm a huge Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I mean, but I see Friday the 13th working more as like a cabin survival. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to play into the tropes, kind of like Final Girl.
Yep. Final Girl, or even Slasher Flick would handle that really, really well because,
Right. But then I'd love to see something in the Nightmare on Elm Street approach where we're all dream warriors and there's some type of ticking clock where we have to stay awake, and as something diminishes, we all fall asleep.
That'd be kind of fun. There's a game called Don't Rest Your Head that I think would do that pretty well.
Is this like Don't Wake Dad?
Yeah, you have to press a little thing, and if he pops out of his bed and throws his little nightcap off, then he's gonna beat your ass with a belt.
Well, I was thinking when Dad wakes up, then Freddy will kill us.
No, it's just the beatings part. That's what I understood that game to mean. Like, if you wake Dad up, he's gonna like raise a ham on you. Like, no, raise a ham? What does that mean? He's gonna raise a ham. Ugh. Yeah, don't wake Daddy. You don't want to know what that means.
Guy's worked all day. He's gonna be up at 4:00 in the morning to feed all these hungry mouths, and a guy can't even get a goddamn sleep.
Now he's gonna raise a ham. Whatever that means.
Let's see. Who's the best 90s cartoon villain? Okay, there's only one answer.
Is it Dr. Paranoid?
It's not Dr. Paranoid.
Oh. Well, who was it then for you?
Joker from BTS.
You want to break BTS down for those who aren't in the know like you?
I just lifted my imaginary glasses to the bridge of my nose.
Yeah, he sure did. As I'm wearing glasses, he's not, because he's making fun of me.
Yeah, Batman the Animated Series for you plebeians out there.
You killed Captain Clown. That's pretty good. No, that's really fucking good. I want to throw out something like Krang, but he was more 80s than, I guess early 90s he was too.
But it started in the 80s.
And if I say Dr. Paranoid, it's just fan service to our millions and millions of Jumping the Street Sharks fans that tune in every month.
The twos of you.
You hear that, boys? You're in. That's for you, yeah. Dr. Pirano, because he's a good dad, and he's a good man, and he's just a little bit evil because he wants to gene slam a whole population of folks and take over the world. But he does it in a caring and loving way.
And he's never in trouble with HR.
No, honestly. Very, very equal opportunity with everybody who comes along. Although, one demerit, though. He did create Shrimp Louie, and Shrimp Louie's awful.
Fucking Shrimp Louie. Hey, Nate, Angel or Spike?
I don't know why I put this on this list, because I have a dark, deep confession. Outside of the Buffy the Vampire movie, I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No shit.
Ever. Yeah, no. It's just... And I can tell somewhere out in Boston, Eric Crumrun just heard that and wants to murder me. And he's every right to. If he comes down where I am, he can do that, I guess.
Or we could all just get together and like binge the first season.
Yeah, I guess that could...
Well, that's better than getting murdered. Or slapped, what did you say?
I think I said murdered, but I think Eric has the power to murder with a slap, so I think we're both right. Yeah, I've never seen it. I'm going to go with Spike, because that's the more useful of the two things.
Well, you're right, because I go Spike too.
Hey, nice. He was my favorite Land Before Time dinosaur. And I've never seen an angel, but I've definitely seen Land Before Time.
You know who Angel is.
I did watch all of Bones. So I guess I got that going for me. Oh.
So we're going to take another page out of our Patreon exclusive podcast.
This was from Mr. Ray. I know that.
I said our Patreon exclusive podcast.
Sorry. Are you talking about Jumping the Street Sharks?
The very same, Governor.
Oh, boy.
Which street shark goes down?
And I asked for clarification ahead of time on this one.
Oh,
like,
cunnilingus, for sure, right?
Yeah. I said, do you mean oral sex? And Mr. Ray's like, of course I do. What else would I mean by that? So, Mr. Ray, you nasty.
If somebody puts your claspers in their mouth, it's the law of the jaw that you have to shark dive on them.
Masterfully done. Elimination. It's not Streaks.
No, because he's too into himself.
Exactly. He's not a giving lover. He doesn't have that capability.
No, he'd get blown and then put a mirror so he could watch.
Right, yeah. He jerks off into a full-length mirror every day. We know that about him.
Ripster.
He would out of obligation, but I don't think he would enjoy it. Like, he doesn't live for someone else's pleasure. You know what I mean?
So Slamoo.
Could be Slamoo. And we know, though not canon in the cartoon, whale sharks have baleen, right? Or they're filter animals, so I don't think there's a biting hazard there. And I don't think Jab... I
don't think he could... His eyes would get stuck.
He's a hammerhead, in case people, for some reason, don't watch the internet's premiere 90s cartoon TV show podcast.
You mean Jumping the Street Sharks?
The very same, boy! I think the hammerhead shark, like whole body shape, natural leg rests.
Oh, so he's got like stirrups on his head.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. I think he's a natural, you know? If it's cunnilingus. If it's the other way...
Well, we all know they eat asphalt.
They do say that, yeah. Rest in peace, lobster. But yeah, no, I think Slamoo's capable of it, but fucking Jab is built for it. Oh. Richard, who's better at video games?
Me.
Yeah, 95% of video games, you are better at video games. It's not even a real question.
Only games that require skill, dedication. No, because I think we play very different games.
Yeah.
But I don't think you have to be... I say it's going to be shitty. I don't think you have to be good at your games.
Oh, yeah, you do.
How can you be good at Pokemon?
Rote memorization, being able to get into your opponent's head to know what move they're going to use next. If you're playing against another person, like a tournament. So, like, knowing when they're going to switch out, who's on their team, what they're going to switch out into, what move you can set up, who you have available. It's like resource management. Same thing with, like, Civilization. It's all resource management and knowing how to maximize what you have on your side of things better than your opponent can. So, for strategy games, that sort of thing, I think I take the cake. For literally every other video game type that's out there, like action RPGs, fighters, anything, that's all you. Maybe not Madden.
I haven't played Madden. Speaking of which...
Yeah, rest in peace, John. We were close, so I can call him by his first name. Yeah, but who is the hottest cartoon mom? There's a lot of options here.
Wilma Flintstone.
Oh, way.
Way.
Dexter's mom.
Oh, yeah.
She had that dump truck, man. I'm telling you.
Was she redhead?
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
Okay. Lois Griffin?
Not really my type. I was thinking also, you could say Elastigirl from The Incredibles.
Holly Hunter's voice, though.
Yeah, that's true. But she's elastic. Got that going for you. Let's make a list of all the hot cartoon moms. Just real quick. Let's go down some hot cartoon moms.
I bet you I can even Google this.
You know what? I really wish I didn't open this on my work computer. Because now I'm on a list.
All right. So according to BuzzFeed, Dexter's mom is number 2.
Lois Griffin's number 1.
Yeah. Oh, we're on the same list?
Yeah. Dexter's mom is number 2, correctly.
Ikuko
Tsukino from Sailor Moon.
No.
All right.
As I said, Wilma Flintstone, and you said no, but this list has them together. If they came as a package deal, would you yabba dabba do them?
Woof. Betty Rubble is way harder than Wilma.
Marge Simpson? Respect.
Dr. Ann, like, she's a career woman. She's motivated, obviously. She'd be able to contribute equally. I find that sexy. Security is pretty sexy.
And nothing's out because everything's possible with her.
Ugh. Charlotte Pickles is a hard fucking pass for me. Whoever put this is going to have to answer to that with Jesus at the pearly gates. Like, no, Charlotte Pickle is not fucking on this list for me.
Yeah. Jane Jetson, I don't feel one way or the other about the Jetsons.
No. Helen Morgendorfer from Daria? No. Who made this list?
Trudy Proud, I don't know who that is, but...
Oh, from the Proud family,
I don't.
Mrs. Brief from Dragon Ball Z. What is this list? Now they're just fucking around because Bunny Bravo from Johnny Bravo. Stella from Hey Arnold. I think she died, didn't she?
I don't know. Childbirth may be passing that head.
Oh, I might have to revise that. I just saw another entry to my list. Mrs. Turner from The Fairly Odd Parents, Timmy's mom.
Oh.
She's number 16 on this list, but she's a certified baddie. Who the fuck? First of all, somebody put Mrs. SquarePants on this shit, and I got questions. Like, what you doing later on, Mrs. SquarePants?
She looks like the lady in the radiator from Eraserhead. Doesn't she?
Yes. All right, let's not be sexist about this, Richard. Let's even out the whole thing. But who are the hottest cartoon dads? And I'm going to open up an incognito search like I should have done last time. Because if we're going to objectify somebody, we're going to objectify everybody, That seems fair to me.
Well, Neptune's going to be up there.
Oh, from Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's not Neptune. King Triton.
Yeah, I know what you meant. But see, I knew you were wrong, and I still was there with you.
All right, Mufasa's a fucking lion.
The one I saw was the Prince of the Forest from Bambi. That's a deer, man. And they're not wrong. King Triton, yep.
Riley. This has got number 8, Riley's dad from Inside Out. And that's Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks. So, agreed.
Oh. Kasim from Aladdin? Like Aladdin's dad? Yeah. What was that? Like one of the straight-to-DVD Aladdin movies back in the day?
Aladdin and the 40 Thieves. No.
Aladdin and Aladdin's cool hot dad. Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. King Agnar. I like his little pedo mustache. Not a fan.
Chief Tui.
Chief Tui looks like a powerful protector, and I appreciate that. Chief Tui's up there for me. But not you, Matai Vasa. You're out.
How about Stoic the Vast?
I mean, I'm not saying no to Stoic the Vast.
Because of the implication.
Hiccup? Oh, spoiler. I guess he's a dad in later episodes, huh? Chief Benja? Oh, from Raya. He's a good-looking dude. So, all right, I'm gonna go with what's his face, Stoic the Vast. I'm learning about myself today, Richard.
Oh shit, though.
Who?
I just pulled up another list.
Another list?
Yeah. Tarzan's dad.
Is this from Decider, the 10 hottest Disney daddies ever?
Thethings.com.
Oh, Total Daddy, 15 Disney dads we were all secretly attracted to. Let's take a look at this.
Wait, the Tramp is number 1? Fuck out of here, list.
Tarzan's dad, though.
Yeah, the mutton chops.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is our brain boner?
Yeah.
It's fun to think about.
But we would never actually have sex with a cartoon dad. Because we can't. Oh. Conan answered his brain boner question.
Perfect timing, Conan.
Yeah. He said, what piques your interests? I think that's what I meant.
I like video games, I guess.
Not cartoon dads, not after this whole thing. That's for sure. If that's what you're asking.
You get a chance to make an official Street Sharks project. What is this project, and how would you approach it?
Ooh, For me, it's a role-playing game. I don't think that would be your answer, though.
No.
So let me do mine first, and then I do want to hear what you would do. I want it to not just be a Street Sharks thing. I want it to encapsulate the 90s like the show does. So I want rules like, in the game Slasher Flick, if you play into the genre, you get bonus points to your shit, you know? I want it to be like that. So if you say something is radical or tubular, you get bonus points. If you do some kind of extreme sport and slam on a Mountain Dew as you're doing it, you get bonus points. That sort of thing. I want it to be extremely rules light, and I want it to be made for episodic shit like Monster of the Week. Like you have your mystery, you solve it within that week, and then it's done. Genre emulation all the way in terms of the 90s cartoon. Be a product of its time, and be rules light and episodic. Those are the whatever number of things it was that I would want included in the game. What would you do?
So that'd be boring. I would have a 4-player arcade game, beat 'em up, like Turtles in Time. But here's what makes it different. They're sharks.
Oh, shit. Yeah, but like, wouldn't people just look at them and say, this is just the Ninja Turtles with the serial number filed off?
That's what we've been saying every week.
Yeah, but like... But it's not like they go back in time at it. You can do like Turtles in Time, because they don't go back in time, right?
Well, Street Sharks go back in time. They've done it twice in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, but like they don't have like a signature food they really like to power up themselves, right? They don't have that.
You mean like burgers and shakes?
But like they don't have like a big mechanical bad guy with a couple like bestial henchmen, right? They don't have that.
You mean like Sharkbot and all the Seviants?
Yeah, but they don't have like a really smart, powerful guy that oversees it all with like a secret agenda to get power.
You mean like Dr. Paranoid?
Oh. Well, they don't have like a normal human sidekick that does cool shit. Yeah, but like they don't have like really cool vehicles they get to bust out when they need it, like a
arcade machines that turn into vehicles. And the cabinet would transform into a turret.
For your video game you're talking about, like your actual arcade cabinet.
No, to kill everybody in the arcade.
I like the effort and inspiration you're bringing to this project, but I think you're not the right one to move forward with it, mostly because of the murder. Not to harp on Conan again, he added more to his answer. I want to hear the rest of it.
You mean his question? Oh no, his answer to our question about his question.
Yeah, so we questioned his answer question, and he answered our question about his answer questions. So he said, I mean, what piques your interest? I think that's what I meant. Or like, what gets your
amygdala?
Thank you. That's not what he wrote, but yes, his medulla oblongata. So, or like, what gets your medulla oblongata hard? Or your cerebellum all perky? I don't know, man. That happened before lunchtime way back, and I don't remember things I did. I think we put that question to bed. Thank you, Conan.
Hey, Nate.
Yeah, buddy. What's up?
What game mechanic do you feel enhance or promote certain styles of play?
So, with our podcast, people who've listened to us, I think see that we like to play a lot of rules light games, partially because it's just easier for us to digest a lot of these games, to put out as many episodes as we do about them. And another part of it is that we support all these indie games. For me, I want brief, succinct rules that are specifically trying to help you tell the exact story you want to tell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want these rule systems that are light but are purposeless in terms of what they want to do. Like the game End of the Line. They have rules that are just specifically to emulate the Final Destination movies. The game is a Final Destination emulator. That's what it does. It does it really well. And those rules do that. It's specificity that makes those games sing. I want rules that are specific to the story they want to tell.
Well, I think you're more creative with more limitations on you.
Yeah, it's a fear of a blank page, but like give me a prompt and we'll write. It's do some of the work for your players and your GMs. Like help them out with the rules that you have in your game. Help them tell the story that you want to see played.
So let's talk about what you don't want to get played, Nate. What TTRPG adaptation do you never want or fear the most?
And like every single property has been bought or is ready to go. And like I'm sure I'm going to mention something and someone's going to be like, oh, well, actually, there's a game about that from Modifius in 2002. I'm sure it's out there. Like I know we were talking before the recording started about the new Matrix movie and how it sucked. I don't want to see a Matrix role-playing game. I don't have anything precious to me that I don't want to see it in a role-playing game. It's not like, oh.
Well, I don't think you'd want like 9/11 the role-playing game.
I mean, yeah, sure. That's
no, but
true.
like just taste wise, like
All right, yeah, I don't.
can you survive Columbine? You know, like it's not classy.
Okay, so I was thinking, like, what piece of media would I not want to see adapted? Wow, you would. That messed me up. Now I'm trying to think about that, and I don't want to.
Well, like I know for you, one of your hard limits on games is violence against children.
Right.
So, like, you wouldn't want to see, like...
A satanic panic role-playing game where your purpose is to start a satanic daycare and abuse the kids. No, I don't want to see that. Yeah, that would be bad.
Me,
but
on the other hand, I'm into it. Me and Gary are going to play that game.
Oh, God. Any other media, though, like, go ahead, take it. I don't care. You're going to fuck it up, and then guess what? I'll still be able to enjoy the original just as much. Like, I've seen a lot of very bad Pokemon role-playing games, and a couple really good ones. Are they the exact Pokemon game that I want? No. But are they good in their own right? Yeah. Do they diminish my love of Pokemon? Nothing ever could. Not even Richard shitting all over my awesome Pokemon abilities.
I didn't say that in your
I wish you
world
ill.
that, you know,
Oh.
you and all your Pokemon friends don't, like, think that's really cool. But when it comes to things in life that matter...
Yeah, why don't you go more for Transformers?
What kind of game do y'all...
Sick. Like, go ahead.
What kind of game... All right. What kind of... Hey, here's one. What kind of game do you all want to see an indie TTRPG designer make? Do you prefer games with a ton of rules or rules light?
For a home game just around our table that I really want to like dive into and build this elaborate world just for us, and we don't have a schedule to keep, I'll take a rules heavy game. You know, because I like some of that stuff. For the podcast, I want rules light, and again, I want rules that tell a specific story. If you can get me a game that I can read 5 pages and run a 3-hour game out of, I am so happy. I don't even care what the game's about within reason.
And I think if you're a designer too, get it out there. Make it short, sweet, and move on to the next one. You know, it's just like with songwriting. If you're always waiting for everything to be perfect, you'll never release anything.
Yeah, good is better than perfect in terms of getting stuff out there.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's actually nice. If it's perfect, it'd be weird.
Yeah. Especially now, you can push revisions up through the cloud.
Right. Especially through things like itch.io. Like you can have your beta release, that's fine. People will still buy it knowing that there's more stuff to come. Like I know for my game, that'll come out on itch later on not this year, but early next year. It's available to our patrons now for free in a very rough beta state.
Wait,
because they're
our patrons?
Yeah, you know, if people join us as patrons and pay either $1, $5, or $10 a month, they get access to whatever game that I make from here on out, and a bunch of other stuff.
Would people also be able to get Canada's 29th most popular Street Shark podcast, Jumping the Street Sharks with Richard and Nate from the Pot of Blunders?
In fact, they would have to. But yeah, like you said, Richard, though, get it out there. Like, it's okay to revise it later on if you think of something better. It's cool. It's not a permanent thing. If you're printing it in paper, you have a little more hurdles to jump. But if you're an indie author, unless you're kickstarting or whatever alternative to Kickstarter you're going to go with now because Kickstarter sucks, get it out there. So, Rich, we've done over a year of episodes now. Like, that's wild. What's your favorite episode that we've done so far of our mainline podcast?
Wikis. It was the first game that we recorded in person. I at times forgot we were recording because we weren't at our typical desk setup. We literally set up a microphone in the middle of the room, and editing it was kind of a chore because there were just long breaks of us singing and going off on tangents because, again, we forgot we were recording a podcast. What about you?
In a similar vein, I'm going to say my girlfriend turned into a car and we were escaping the city for a couple of reasons. First, I guess to make you watch 20 minutes of an anime movie. And 2, we were in the same room again, and like in a very similar theme to Wikis. The energy is great when we're recording, as you can tell from this. But when we're in the same room, it's different. It's a lot more conversational. It's a lot more free. And I just had such a fun time with both of those episodes. And I think those are like some of our most recent episodes, actually. So maybe that just speaks well to what we're doing now versus where we started.
We're getting better, guys. We're getting better. We promise.
I promise. 3-4 more years, you're going to be able to have your parents listen to this, and they'll be like, I understand. I understand why you love this hobby so much. They won't want to listen to all our curse words or Richard's fart jokes, but they'll like it. We have one last question.
What's one thing you're excited for next year? But before I answer that, we did an episode the same time last year with special guest Chris Norfleet. And we talked about the things that we were most excited for in the coming year. Do you remember what any of those things were?
I thought you had like done research and had this prepared.
No,
Last year
no.
you said this.
No, I know what I said because I said it.
I probably had some kind of bullshit answer and be like, oh, maybe a Spider-Man movie or something.
No, mine was better. Yours was Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, that matched. That was good. That was a pretty good game. A lot of skill, though. I don't know if you can hack it, Richard. You got to take pictures of the Pokemon as they move around.
I think Ryan was excited.
Ryan was... no, his was a Super Meat Boy or whatever the fuck that was.
No, Binding of Isaac,
That's
new
the
edition.
name.
Super Binding of Isaac Turbo edition.
Yeah, Turbo HD.
And then Norfleet, I think, was excited for Dune. Something else. But let's not talk about them.
No.
My three
hell with
things
them.
were Zack Snyder's Justice League. And oh my god, did that not disappoint. Amazing. Spider-Man No Way Home.
That was one of your things?
That was one of my things, which I can't discuss without spoiling anything. And Nate will murder me.
I will.
And then I think the third was the Evil Dead game that I don't think has come out, or if it has, to no fanfare, so we'll see.
It's like vaporware at this point, or...
It's coming.
Yeah, it'll come out, sure. Next year, how about that? What are you excited for?
I mean, after Spider-Man No Way Home, it's kind of all downhill.
Could be for the podcast, too.
I think we'd like to branch out more into other mediums. You know, we flirted with things. YouTube, TikTok, Instagrams. I'd like to do more multimedia projects.
I mean, we have the faces for radio, but I think we can sell it. You know, a little glitter, little, Vaseline on the lens. We'll look pretty good at the end. I love Twitter. We're doing really well there. I love the fans we have now. I'm trying to figure out what else we can do because I really believe in what we have. I'm proud of what we're making, and I want more people to hear it. I think you play wikis for somebody, they're going to laugh. They're going to have a good time.
No, for sure. My goal is to make a show, because, I mean, our base is going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
I like to get the casual listener that will listen to it who doesn't even know what a polyhedral dice is.
Well, they will. And they also know which one you can eat safely. And I guess, hanging out with you again for another year would be kind of good.
Yeah, about that.
So if you want to be the co-host of the Pot of Blunders, write into potofblunders@gmail.com. You'll also have to edit it, because I don't like doing that. We started in 2020, technically. We have a couple episodes back then, some of which are apocryphal.
Discuss it.
They have been lost to the ether.
Like Klingons without the ridges. We do not discuss it.
Really, this was in my mind, this is our first, it's been our first full year of doing this. And to see where we started and to see where we are now, I'm really proud of the growth we've had over a year. And I can't wait to see where it goes. But that's for next year, I guess, 2022. Unless the world ends in the next 48 hours. In which case, goodbye. Goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed your time on this planet. I'm hoping I didn't jinx it. If I did, you can blame me for the apocalypse. So to our patrons, thank you again for supporting us.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, there's some people who pay $1, $5, or $10 a month, and they get all kinds of great things like access to certain rooms in our Discord, where they can talk to us directly all the time forever. Or, for example, I don't know, the internet's premier 90s cartoon review podcast.
I hear we're 159th in Germany.
That's for the overall. I'm pretty sure the metrics for Jumping the Street Sharks is a little bit higher than that. If Germany had metrics for a Jumping the Street Sharks review podcast, we'd be number one. So it's not our fault they don't have those metrics. But anyway, thank you to our patrons. Thank you to our listeners. There's a bunch of folks that help us that aren't patrons that, every time they retweet our stuff, they're always there to offer advice and help. And however you contribute, however you support us, we see you and we appreciate you. So thank you very much. Thank you for the last year. And please, please, please stick with us for the next year.
It's going to get better, we promise.
I'm calling it now. I'm putting it out there. 148th ranked podcast in Germany. Happy New Year. Hope your 2021 was excellent to you despite all the bullshit. I hope 2022 is even better for you. And
may all your 2022s be 20s.
What the fuck was that? If you want to support the Pot of Blunders, please consider heading to our Patreon page, patreon.com/potofblunders, all one word. We've got membership levels ranging from $1 to $10 a month, which will get you access to things like our Discord, exclusive episodes of Jumping the Street Sharks, as well as a variety of other perks. You can also support the show and help us bring more attention to amazing indie authors by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate any help you can give. We love hearing from you. You can always find us on Twitter at Pot of Blunders, and you can also reach us via email at potofblunders@gmail.com. Want more reviews, interviews, actual plays? Head to potofblunders.com and learn about even more amazing indie games. Thanks for listening. For the Pot of Blunders, I'm Nate Magnuski, and as always, may all your Ds be 12s.
Brain boner.